the Los Angeles Lakers have a third white boy. A third white boy has hit the Lakers. Obviously, we knew we got Luka Doncic, we got Austin Reeves. Both of them have been absolutely phenomenal this season. However, the Lakers made an addition this offseason that was, I would say, largely laughed at just because it's the Lakers and everyone is expecting the biggest name possible every time an offseason comes around, despite the fact that there's actually no evidence to suggest that that should just be the expectation all the time. But given how splashy the trade deadline edition of Luka was, I guess I kind of understand it. But a lot of expectations existed for the Lakers this offseason, so I kind of understand it. But they added Jake LaRavia, and I did not know much about Jake LaRavia when that addition was made, but I went and looked back at some of his old film, I looked at some of his stats, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised. Hello everybody, welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like. Hype the video if you so please. Now, I'm not going to say that he had numbers that were like super gaudy, super clearly impressive, but there was enough there that I was like, for as young as he is, for as cheap as this contract was, which I believe he was given about $6 million, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, they offered him a 2-year, $12 million deal, so $6 annually. And thus far, he has been really, really good for the Lakers. He is currently putting up in total 13 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.5 of those being offensive rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 1.4 steals, only 1.3 turnovers, 50% from 3 on 3.5 attempts, and a by far and away career high 67% on 2-pointers. Now, what intrigued me about LaRavia is how good his 3-point shooting was last year. Obviously, a fairly limited sample. He's not the highest volume guy in the world, but last year he shot 42.3%. For his larger sample before being traded to the Kings, he shot 44.5%. So this was a tall-ish forward. He's about 6'8". I feel like he's a little bit taller than that, but a tall forward who can shoot, not a disaster on defense. And he also had this floater range shot when I went and looked at his highlights. And the shooting numbers for this are not phenomenal. When you look at his shot from 0 to 3 feet, I mean, that's not great around the rim, but of the floater range 3 to 10 feet, 41% for his career. However, last year, which was his third year in the NBA, he shot just under 50%. He also shot 50% on them in his rookie year. So it really is just this 23-24 season that is really tanking that percentage for him. So he has this floater range shot that I liked a lot. His 3-ball is good. He also has some ability to put the ball on the floor. He's a surprisingly adept ball handler. And I was like, yeah, for $6 million, I like this addition. He also seems like the exact kind of reclamation project for JJ Redick. Obviously, after the failure of Dalton Connect, although Dalton Connect has not been all that awful this year. But as good as these numbers are, his numbers for the last 3 games have been especially good because he's had 2 games now where he just could not miss. 10 for 11 from the field versus Minnesota for 27 points, and 10 for 13 from the field versus Miami for 25 points. He also had a 13-point game in there in the middle that was still pretty good versus Memphis. So in total for this stretch, he's averaging 21.7 points, 2.7 steals, 7 rebounds, 2 offensive, 85% from 2, and 67% from 3. Obviously, these are early season numbers. We do not expect this insane efficiency to maintain. However, he's made it pretty clear that he is worthy of big opportunity. The second start that he got, his first one was fucking awful, so that's understandable. But his second start, he puts up this massive game versus Minnesota. I actually really like the lineup that LA has gone with ever since they made this switch. They've had a few different guys start. But I believe versus Miami, let me go look at that box score. Yes, the starters were Luka, Austin, Hayes in place of Ayton, Rui, and Marcus Smart. And then Jake LaRavia ended up being in this lineup a shit ton as well. And the game before that, the one versus Minnesota, They went with a lineup of Austin. LaRavia was basically in place of Luka. That game was without Luka. Obviously has a fucking over 100% true shooting percentage in this game. Just some bonkers efficiency from him. And I like I said, I just felt really high about that addition, and I wanted to show you the game that he had versus Miami most recently. Skip past the ball hog gloves advertisement. Luka with the bomb, the touchdown pass, arguably a travel there, but it was close enough, but leaks out really well in transition. This is a really nice drive and kick by Bronny James, who is Bam Adebayo is late to recover on that shot from LaRavia. What I really like about Jake is just that he kind of does a little bit of everything on the offensive end of the floor. That's kind of a nothing assist. I don't even know if that should really count as one, but sure. Cuts inside, fakes like he's about to do a screen. Like he looks like he's about to screen Davion Mitchell, which gets Jovic to turn his head just a little bit, makes the burst to the rim, and Luka is more than capable of making that pass right on the spot. Trailing here, drives inside on Simone Fontecchio, kicks out to Austin Reeves. It's a good read. His playmaking has always been pretty solid. His instincts on that end I like. That was a goaltend. Probably would have missed that shot otherwise, but Bam Adebayo was nice enough to make it count. Rui, trailer, LaRavia, pass fake, step back, three, bang. I also love his shooting form. I just think he has a really nice stroke. Always feel awkward saying that, but it is accurate. Yeah, good shot form. And once again, here's the back cut. Luka with that miss, but the putback, he's putting up pretty good offensive rebounding numbers relative to 7 rebounds per game. Here he hits this one. I was shocked by, because I was like, all right, he's gonna mess up his not missing any shot streak, but he manages to get that fadeaway to rattle in versus Bam Adebayo. Full head of steam going to the basket, and he does not fear Kel'el Ware. He just goes up with the left-handed slam. Wiggins misses that. Hayes with the rebound. Jackson Hayes had an awesome game versus Miami, and then he gets the lob from Austin Reeves. Running the floor really, really well. He's not doing anything special, but you don't have to do anything that special as a role player. Just hit your threes, run in transition, cut, make smart cuts like that right there. Misses the layup to fuck up Luka's assist, but he gets the putback. Like, it's simple stuff, but it is really, really effective. And overall, I'm feeling high about that addition. I'm doing a video about Luka and the Lakers in general that will be coming out today over on Rusty Bucket, so please keep an eye out for that. But yeah, this LaRavia edition, I was very happy with myself for consistently saying that I was high on it, because thus far this season, he has very much proven me right. I don't know that it will maintain at this level. He's certainly not going to maintain these efficiency metrics because they're just off the charts. But I think it's a pretty damn good sign, and it will allow him to earn further trust from JJ Redick and this Lakers squad, to the point where he is going to get more and more opportunity. He is playing a career high 28 minutes per game thus far this year. Before this, his peak was 23, and that was over just a 35-game sample size. Like, I can't emphasize enough, this man has barely played NBA basketball. Before this game, he'd only played 136 games, 6 of them starting, and only playing 19 minutes on average. So, like, this guy's not he's 24 and he has barely played in the NBA. So it was a really nice upside swing by the Lakers. And Rudy, do you want to get in here and bitch about how Minnesota handled how the Grizzlies? I don't know why I always fuck up the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Too many forest animals and similar color scheme. It throws me off. Rudy, bitch about the Memphis Grizzlies for a moment.
Rather than bitch myself, I'm just gonna shout out Keith over at Fast Break Breakfast and cite his tweet where he says the Grizzlies used 5 first-round picks on Jake LaRavia and Marcus Smart in the last 2 weeks. Those two combined for 88 points on 69% shooting. Nice. 27 rebounds, 15 assists, 12 steals, 12 threes for the Lakers. A little bit of a sour note to see Jake LaRavia balling out, but he was bad for us for the first 2 years, and then contract year came up, and it's like, yeah, we're not going to pick you up, and he starts balling out, and it's like, well, you're going to extend me then, and nope, we just trade him for nothing. So draft night, they used 2 picks to like trade up to his spot. That's that's that. And then the Marcus Smart thing, we traded away 2 picks to get him and traded away 1 pick to get him off the team. Man, I can't wait to see Ja Morant dunk twice on the Pistons tonight. I sure hope we win.
Well, on that sour note, Jake LaRavia is good and Rudy is sad. Goodbye.